So, you want to learn how to drive a manual. Plenty of you out there are fascinated with manual transmission cars and wanting to learn how to operate them. While manual transmissions may be a little scary to think about, the movements are not hard to understand and become good at. But, in order to learn how to operate them effectively, let's first take it back to the basics of how the system itself works. Your transmission has two main shafts, input and output. Inside between those two is where all the magic happens. In equivalent terms, the input and output work similar to you riding a mountain bike. Your pedals are the input shaft, and the rear bike tire is the output shaft. They don't make them like they used to. The transmission operates by shifting the lever or the stick into several predetermined positions. On newer transmissions, there are little gear assist pieces called synchronizers, whose job is to spin up the gear to match the shaft speed so that it can smoothly shift without grinding. These wear down over time, so if you're slow and gentle with your shifting, they will last longer. Depending on the manufacturer of the transmission, the shape of the movements, better known as the shift pattern, can be different. Normally neutral is dead center on the shift pattern. The location of reverse also depends on the manufacturer and the gear setup. For example, really old cars have a 3-speed, and their reverse was located where first gear is now. Don't ask about that one though, because I have no idea. Help. When you shift gears, it changes the rotational speed of the transmission in relation to the rotational speed of the output shaft. The output shaft is connected directly to the drive shaft, which is then connected directly to the rear wheels. At all times, the drive shaft and the main output shaft are spinning the same speed. On the opposite side of the transmission is the input shaft. So here's the bell housing for my wagon. You can ignore all this extra stuff on the bottom. That's just how my car was designed. They don't normally look like that. So the bell housing is where your clutch and your input shaft are for your transmission. The input shaft would normally come out of that hole right there, but this one's taken apart, so there is no input shaft, but that's where it would normally be. This is where all the work comes in when it comes to driving a manual transmission. So, let's go ahead and take a look at the clutch system and see how that ultimately controls the input shaft.